Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'm going to be playing another premiere draft of Secrets of Strixhaven. Just kind of trying to do a couple of drafts this week, ideally one every day. I don't know that I'll upload them every day, but I want to practice for the qualifier event coming up next Friday, which is best of 3 sealed, and I don't really like practicing with sealed. I just sort of like to practice as many different schools and pairs and color combinations that I can through draft. And then I think that makes it easier whenever you do open a sealed pool to have as many different experiences with the cards as you can. So we have opened and applied geometry for our rare. Create a token that's a copy of non-aura permanent you control, except it's a 0/0 fractal and it gets 6/1/1 counters. So it's basically a 4 mana 6/6 at the worst. And if you get this on something that's already, say, like a 4/6, you're doing really well. I'm just thinking of that vigilant green creature because lately all I've been opening is Witherbloom. So what else in here is excellent? Foolish Fate, Burst Lightning, and Impractical Joke for some wonderful removal spells. A lot of good white cards, too. So it's a bit awkward that we're taking the only blue and green card in the entire pack. So perhaps we are sending a signal to the person on our left not to be in blue-green. All right, and we opened another green-blue rare that the person on our right passed to us. Draw X cards, then you may put a permanent with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Paradox Surveyor is also excellent. Ideally, we could get some more X spells. There is a card that cares about you casting X spells in the game. What else is in here? Feed the Swarm, of course, is excellent removal because it can hit enchantments also. I am really big on this Mana Worm. I would be quite happy if that wheeled. Okay, so now we have a Royal Treatment and a Seeker on color. I also have an Unsettle Mockery, which is a very good removal spell as well. It's instant speed, 3 mana, 4 to a creature, and you surveil. I like that better than the Royal Treatment, I think. Primary Research is okay, but it's definitely for the red-white deck, and it's very expensive. So I also really like Sundering Archaic. You can exile something for often 2 or 3 mana at the least, and then if you end up doing a wildly big converge deck, you can exile something that's 5 or less mana. But yeah, we'll take the Unsubtle Mockery here. Another Feed the Swarm. Have to decide now between the Glassrite and the Barrage. The Glassrite can make us a treasure, but I don't want to be too heavily into red, I don't think. Mainly just want to splash it for some removal. There's also Foolish Fate here, which is excellent removal, but I think for us, we want to try and stick to green-blue primarily. That's sort of a tough choice between the Run Behind and the Essence Scatter. Run Behind, I think, is more consistent because they're definitely going to get some creatures on the board at some point. Whereas Essence Scatter, you have to hold it in your hand. You have to hold up 2 mana at instant speed at all times for it to be useful. There's also a Visionary's Dance that we can discard for 2, even if we're not really playing blue-red. There's a Tome Blast, which is excellent removal as well. I also really like the Diary of Dreams. It basically just becomes a 5 or a tap to draw card artifact after a while. But I think I'm going to take the Run Behind. Not really interested in any of these cards, so I guess I'll take the removal spell. Again, Send in the Pest I like, but again, I don't really want to move into another color unless there's just a huge reason, like an Arcane Omens. If we saw another Sundering Archaic, maybe I would consider it, but happy with another removal spell here. Again, I'm not too thrilled about any of these, to be honest. Maybe we're kind of going into a full 3-color deck with the Paint Mage giving us blue-red every turn to cast extra spells. I am a fan of the Topiary Lecturer. Gets counters very easily and ramps you up. The Newt as well for the same reason. Muse Seeker is quite good. but I'm not as big a fan of it as I am these two cards. So we'll take the Lecturer, I think, first. Wow, lots of white cards. Yeah, I guess I'll just take this Elemental Mascot. Not a fan of the Rancorous Archaic. It's probably my least favorite of the Archaics. Also, I apologize in advance if you can hear my dog around in the background. My dog is currently going through some veterinary challenges, so she has to wear a cone around her neck, and I don't like those big plastic ones that they have, so I got her a little inflatable one, which looks like a baby swim floaty, but she is not happy with it, and she tries to scratch it off quite frequently. But I love her enough, and I feel bad for her that I'm not going to put her in her crate for the entire time I'm doing this draft. So I think I'll take a Wild Hypothesis over the Spellbook Seeker here. It's not necessarily correct. It looks like there's not a lot of people in blue-red, so maybe this will turn into a true 3-color deck. Also, I apologize, I'm very sniffly because allergies are terrible. If you live in the South, or even in parts of the Midwest, I think even on the East Coast, they have that terrible pollen that just leaves yellow stuff all over your car, and I am suffering. Okay, so I'm going to take an Ambitious Augmenter here. It has Increment, 1 mana. When it dies, you create a fractal with extra counters. So if you cast this and then any spell after it, it replaces itself, even if it dies. It's just a great early creature. I also like Fractalize okay. Not as much as I do basically everything else in our deck, but it would probably be the only thing worth playing here that's not in Witherbloom, which I'm trying to avoid because I've been playing it so much. Excellent. Now we have gotten a Berta. This is perfect for our big green-blue splashy deck. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on it, add a mana, and then for X and tap, you can create a 0/0 green and blue fractal with a bunch of counters. So in the late game, if they can't remove Berta, you're basically just able to poop out a bunch of big tokens. Spectacle Summit would probably be my second pick here, since we're pretty heavily into the 3-color. Emil's okay since we're doing 3-color again. If we could pick up some of these Glass Rights on the wheel, we may be able to get those Converge cards even better, because we can use the treasure tokens for something off color. I am a little tempted to take an Essence Scatter here. Prismari Charm, it looks really good, but I haven't really cast it well. I don't know if that's user error, but I'm just not as big a fan of it as I think a lot of other people are. I think with our big fatty top end, this might be the last top end that we take, and then we're going to be looking to wheel a bunch of these little 2-mana cards. I'm pretty close to taking this Essence Scatter, but I think for now I'll pick up one more fatty. What does this deck need? Removal? Potentially. Ooh, Terror of the Tangential. Has Increment. At the beginning of combat, you can pay X and move X +1/+1 counters from this creature onto another target creature, which sounded weird to me at first. I was like, why would you want to do that? And then my dumbass realized that it would then re-enable all the increment on this card, and then you could just keep adding counters. There's also another Barrage. Right now we have 1, 2, 3 removal spells and a tempo play. I think I'd rather have a 2-mana creature. Ooh, this is a tough one. The Snarl Song and the Terrafractal. I do enjoy probably a more flexible spell, because this could just be like a 1/1 for 3, or I guess it'd be a 2/1 for 3, whereas you have to have 6 mana to cast this, but if and when you do, it's quite a good card. I'm going to pick Banishing Betrayal here, just another tempo play to help us kind of stabilize and set up for our big late game plays. I think I like the Newt here over another Paint Mage. It just ramps us up again, and it also is a little Death Toucher that can hold off anything early. Got a great Cuboid Colony with another increment card, flash and flying, so this can often also get really big. And we have picked up a few flyers, which is always great. I'm not huge on Fractalize in this deck, particularly. I guess I'll just take a Thunderdrum Soloist for now. I have 9 instants and sorceries. I don't know that that's making the deck, but Fire Dancer actually can be pretty good in the right deck also. I really don't think we want to go as heavily into red as this current build suggests, though. I really think I want to stick to blue-green as much as possible. So if I take those out and just keep the removal spells, I'm down to just 9 creatures. So let's keep all the blue-red stuff in the sideboard and see what happens in pack 3. And I'll try to remember that those are in there. We have opened a Slumbering Trudge and a Proctor's Gaze. Also an Embrace the Paradox. But I'm going to take the Slumbering Trudge here. You can cast this for, what, 2 mana, and then it's basically a 6/6 on, let's see, what, like turn 3 or 4? I don't know, I can't do math today, but yeah. Slumbering Trudge is good. Wild Growth Archaic is excellent. We only have 3 colors right now, but it doesn't even really matter what this comes out as. It then just pumps all your other creatures that come into play. So this is an absolute beast of a card that needs to be removed by your opponent immediately. I'll pick up a Proctor's Gauge now over a Spectacle Summit, which is very painful, but the Proctor's Gaze can search for whatever land we need. Oh, there's an Abrade. Abrade is so good too. And there's a lot of good artifacts in this set that need to be removed as well. We could also return a non-land permanent, though. This doesn't have to be a creature. It could also be like an artifact. So say they got a bunch of counters on the Diary for Dreams. We could set them back a little bit by returning that to their hand. Flusterstorm. You know, to be honest, I don't know that I'm playing another Fractal Mascot. I almost want to take the Flusterstorm just to be funny. I would not play it. I would not play it in Limited, but... Alright, so we did get another Proctor's Gaze. A third? I don't know that I would want a third. I think the Virtuoso will be good here. We do need to pick up some creatures if we're not doing a bunch of these red cards. Orisa, Tide Choreographer. Also another kind of removal spell. This is much more situational. I don't really like the Orisa as much as other people, though, so I'm gonna pass that. I'll take another run behind. Wow, Hardened Academic, pick 8? That's crazy. I guess nobody's in red white. We did Wheel of Glass right, which I almost missed. Wield the Embrace the Paradox. Don't really want any of these creatures, I don't think. This is going to be a difficult one to build because I feel like we got a lot of good cards for kind of two different strategies. The big giant fractal one and the blue-red spells, honestly. I think we'll be able to make a pretty cool teamer deck here. I am a bit upset with myself that I didn't draft any duels. Particularly, I think we saw 2 red-blue duels that would have been really good. Okay, so for fun, let me see what happens if I take out the red cards. Do I have enough support? One, 2, 3, 4. So 2 straight up removal spells. 1, 2, 3, 4 tempo plays. But the idea is that it shouldn't really matter if we don't have a ton of removal, because this deck wants to just cast a bunch of big fatties, increment the hell out of the opponent, and just smash. These also kind of count as tempo plays because they can tap and stun your opponent's creatures. It may be worth it not to run any red. The only reason I would really want to run red is for the archaic. All right, let's see what we're missing out on. Obviously, the removal spells. Visionary's Dance will never be able to get back, but it is good card selection. I think we just have too many. I think we just have too many spells. Let's see. Hang on, I gotta yell at my cats. Okay, sorry. I have 2 cats who really like to fight with each other. Okay. $15 creatures in this build. With double Proctor's Gaze, I feel like it's not unreasonable to run the red even without any duels. It also makes our trudge better. Is there anything else that cares about how many colors we have? No. Yeah, just the archaic. Now, I will say, I have been running a bunch of 3-color decks recently, most often Abzan, and it almost always happens that I will get screwed out of one of my main colors in favor of the splash. This isn't really a splash, though. There's too many red cards for it to really be considered a splash. What if I run just the removal? I can go get the red with Proctor's Gaze. Embrace the Paradox increases the chance that we hit the red as well. We have a decent amount of card selection, Surveil. And I kind of want to keep all these big spells for the increment cards that we have. Then again, even without these removal spells, our strategy still works very well. I think I might just run a 2-color deck. Now I have to get rid of 1 card. Our curve is pretty high. I probably should cut one of these big spells. Maybe the Hypothesis. Yeah, I think so. 9-8 split seems good to me. All right, let's roll with this and see how we do. Now, if I feel like after a game or two of this that we just absolutely are dying for that removal, I'll go back and add it in. No green, or no blue, but we have spells. That was dumb. I should have done that first so I could get the counter on the Augmenter. Pro player. Teacher's Pest. Just gonna hold up my instance. If they play the pest thing that cares about that gets counters whenever they gain life. Okay, I think I'm just gonna kill that. I think I want to hold on to my Betrayal, because next turn our Trudge will be untapped. I don't love that card. It's not a good one to bounce, obviously, because then they'll just get the Pest back. This is a little awkward at the moment. I think we'll just flash in our Cuboid and then next turn we can Mind Over Matter. Wow, another one. Now they just want to draw the card. Oh yeah, I forgot they have 2, so they get 2 cards. Should just let that thing hit me. Alright, well. Let's see what we hit. Let's get Berta out there. I don't really want them to double block and kill my Trudge for just some 3/1s. I can make a copy of the Trudge, which is exciting if they don't do something to it. The Augmenter would also be good to do, because even if it dies, I get a fractal back anyway. No more free cards for you. Or I could just make a big thing with Berta. So if I make a copy of this, does it get the current counters that are on it right now? I'm scared that because it's like a 1/0, I wouldn't. Hang on. Okay, no. It says it will die immediately, so I'm glad I looked that up. I can use Banishing Betrayal to my advantage here if they try to double block something. Okay. Cat, can you please get out of the way? I swear, my animals today, dude. Oh, I didn't realize that would come in with the stun counters on it. Oh well. This is why learning about how copying spells work is very important. Ooh, went and found some planes. See what they've got. This has often been my tricolor deck of choice lately. So I'm very glad to be away from that in this draft, because I was getting very bored. Well, that's a shame. All right. I guess they could have the board wipe. That would really suck. I guess we would be okay. We still have 2 fractal mascots in the deck. And then the flying one too. Is this an instant speed? No, it's a sorcery. feel like I want the Surveil. I guess that's fine. It's just another creature. Alright, let's see what they got. You have anything for 1 black mana that could save them? I guess maybe they have that thing that cycles in their hand. Dissection practice. That does not do it. All right. I will say I did not miss those removal spells in this game, so I think I'm happy to keep rolling with this deck as is. And we are 1-0. I always get suspicious whenever I have to wait this long. All right, there we go. Always nervous it's gonna time out into that draw. All right, looks good. Very similar start to last time. But this time we'll be able to trudge for a bit better because of the newt. I think we should be able to cast this untapped on turn 3. Unless my math is just terrible. Which I wouldn't be surprised about. I am terrible at math. Let's see what they go get. Another swamp. Untap 6/6 turn 4. If they have removal, they're almost definitely going to use it on that. All right. That Death Toucher is annoying. I think I'll use the Mind Over Matter and then ramp or find. Let's see. I can only cast it for 3 right now. Maybe I'll quick study first. Okay, so I can flash in the Cuboid Colony. That mascot is going to be a good target for bouncing when we get there. Now we will mind over matter for 4. Yep. All right, they're over it. We didn't even draw very well. We just got a whole bunch more lands, and I don't even think we had any permanent other than lands, but we did have a couple of removal spells, so that was going to be good for us either way. And now we are 2-0. I forgot how much I enjoyed these big Quandrix decks. I have not drafted very many of them, but man, they are fun. I really like the big Converge decks as well, but it seems that the popularity of those has grown enough that it's quite difficult to really get enough mixture of cards and lands that are going to be able to enable that. I don't think we saw a single Terramorphic Expanse that whole draft. And as mentioned, I know we saw a couple blue-red lands, but I don't think I saw any green-blue unless I just completely missed it. Ooh, this is a bit slow. We do have the Surveil though, and we have both of our colors, so I don't feel like I can get rid of it. Remove my Archaic or die. That's interesting. I wonder why they didn't attack. Maybe because they just wanted to hold me off from attacking? Man, I love this worm. If I don't cast the worm now, I don't get Archaic value, and I don't get to get value off of the land or the big spells from it either. So as much as I wanted to get rid of that Interceptor and deprive them of their counters and prepared spell, man, I could really rock their shit right now. I think now I will get rid of the Interceptor. I need more green. Bye-bye, Man-Worm. Archaic is doing work. They're gonna get rid of Embrace the Paradox anyway, so I might as well get rid of that. All right. We are now 3-0. I'm really glad I didn't put those red removal spells in the deck now. Oh, no green. No green, but we have some castable spells and a way to surveil. It's very annoying that Arena asks you that if there's no counters on the card. Hey, a green. If they try to get rid of our augmenter, I might even banishing betrayal it back to ourselves. Okay. That's a terrible one to banishing betrayal because they're just gonna get more lands that way. Instead, I'll just run behind whatever they play. Whatever they attack with, the Sky Coach, most likely. They're gonna play something to crew it, I would guess. Encouraging Aviator. Yep, I'll take a quick study. Do I want to move them? I don't think so yet. They're both gonna get a counter again whenever I Proctor's Gaze. Or run behind, either one. Oh no. Well, the funny thing is that I can put the counters from that onto the augmenter, but I don't want to. No more green is very awkward. Might even be awkward enough that I need to cast Embrace. Do I want to try to get them? I don't think so. I thought about holding up like the Colony or the Proctor's Gaze, but if I don't play that, then they know we're holding something up, so they're gonna play around things. At least now we'll get a creature back. They never recast the Aviator. I guess they just wanted to double creature. Okay, so they can sack their Sky Coach to double up something. Ward is pay 3 life. All right. If they want to trade with Micah, or if they try to offer the trade, I will just embrace on the Sky Coach, or Proctor's Gaze on the Sky Coach, or I guess I could just embrace as well. Or actually, I could Cuboid and then Gaze, which would be more intelligent. Need to hold full control. Not sure what they're holding over there. Maybe a bounce spell. A run behind, maybe. Uses encouragement. Okay. A couple of tokens for them. We can tap something with the mascot, but then this would just still be a 3/3. I can't really move the counters onto the cuboid and still cast something big enough, I don't think. Let's see. To cast this, I have two mana left. Is there anything I'm going to be able to do for 2 mana? I guess there's a barrage and a newt. Barrage would be great for the removal spell, but what are the chances I draw that? How many cards do I have? 1 out of 24. But I am drawing, what, 3 cards? So it's possible. If I elk... Actually... I'm gonna tap one of their flyers, move 1 counter onto the cuboid, and then send in gonna have to block something. I don't know what else they're holding. The Banishing Betrayal would be bad. There's like a 2-mana 3 to a creature thing. Yep. That could have gone worse. Definitely kill the flyer. Good thing is that Tome Blast is a sorcery, so it's not like they could just get our cuboid colony out of nowhere. Emeritus of Ideation. Okay. It's an instant. They could double block the mascot with these two. I can embrace and cuboid in the same turn. I don't know that I want to lose my mascot to their board, though. This isn't doing anything. They don't have any artifacts, so that's not doing anything. I think I'm going to hold up, because if we get the barrage, we can get rid of the ideation or the mica or like whatever we need. They do have almost 8 cards in their graveyard. Not quite. Well, now they have 8 cards in their graveyard. They are stabilizing a good bit over there. I think I'm quite happy if they want to exile everything in their graveyard. Because they have to get rid of Tome Blast. And then they can't bring anything back with like the big diversion to equation thing. Okay, I would much rather they essence scatter that than the mascot. I think it's too risky to send in with my mascot. Maybe not. Maybe I should have done it anyway. What do they have for 1 mana over there? Oh, Ancestral Recall, duh. Nice. So they have 8 mana. If they cast something for 5, ping me with the Soloist. So that's 3 plus 5, 8. And then if they have 1 more spell, they ping me for 9. Ugh. Or if they just have another Tome Blast, I think they can just deal that to my face, right? Or if they have like what's that 1 mana spell? Burst Lightning? I may have been too aggressive at the beginning with my bounce spells, perhaps. The Run Behind, the Betrayal, the Proctor's Gaze. But I mean, I can't just hold on to those indefinitely and wonder what might be worth getting rid of, right? Hindsight's 2020. We still have the Barrage, and I think the Tackle. Gosh, another flyer. Good for them. Good thing is they don't have 5 mana now to ping us for 3 with the Soloist. I think if they did, they would have done that because it would have gotten us much closer to dying. My guess is they're wondering if they can send in with the Emeritus. Oh, man. Marina. Killing me. No. Well, we're just dead now. That was a good game. They had a really cool deck. One of the better Prismari decks I've seen recently. I used to see really good ones at the beginning of the format, and then lately they've been kind of lackluster. I don't know if it's because people are competing over the good cards in the draft or what, but that was a really good one. Very cool. Love seeing that Emeritus for sure. The best of the Emerituses, obviously. That's why they did serialized versions of them. Have you guys opened any collector boxes of Strixhaven? I won one. Oops. Sorry, my phone went off. I did win a box, and I can't decide if I should open it or sell it or hold it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Part of me wants to wait and open it on my birthday in a couple months. Part of me wants to just hold it because I know it'll go up in value over time, but I don't know how quickly. I have definitely had some expensive magic items, physical items that I have sold pretty shortly after I got them that I regret selling earlier. Mox Diamond is a great example. I also had a Judge Wheel of Fortune that I sold, which I miss. Love that card. Unfortunately, never got the Judge Gaia's Cradle. If you had a couple of those, you are now rich. I guess you could cast this for 1 mana. I don't know. I'd rather cast it untapped on turn 4. Playing against Lorehold, which is a nice change. Okay. Might as well get some value off the lecturer while we're just kind of dirtling around here. We can start getting even more mana for Berta. Garrison Excavator is an excellent card. Because now they're going to get at least 1 spirit token that we can't do anything about. I could cast the worm and get even more value off the lecturer, or I could just start pooping things out with Berta. I guess it will depend here if they remove it or not. And they did. Poor Berta. Okay. The unfortunate thing is we have nothing else in our hand. Good news is that if we get any of our X spells, we have 1 billion mana. Exactly 1 billion. This could be quite good for us. They know we have something because we attacked with the worm. I guess either way, they're just going to be able to like recast a thing. I think I'd rather them get rid of the life linker. Yeah, it's a good one as well. Just going to try to make them keep recasting stuff. This is 5 mana or more, isn't it? Yep. I guess we could move a counter onto the Virtuoso, and then that would be big enough to be out of the reach of the token that they make if they recast Sloth. I haven't seen somebody use the thinking emote in a long time. Okay. I could just do this now. And there we go. Getting that increment counters on that mana dork was excellent for us that game. Even though Berta was removed really early, and now we are at 4 and 1. Okay. Some expensive spells, but we also have some cheap spells. And the archaic, of course. If we hit our third land, I think I'm gonna run out the archaic first and wait on this tester, which we did not. Makes me nervous. Green, blue. I love these Nyx lands, the galaxy lands from Theros. So beautiful. All right, let's see if they're a 2-color or they are not. Bant. I haven't seen a Bant deck for a while in this format. It's probably my second favorite color pair next to Dimir. Or, I'm sorry. My third favorite, no, my second favorite tricolor deck, Sultai is what I meant to say. So Sultai, then Bant. Okay, thank God we drew something. If they have removal, we're definitely going to use it here. Whoa, what am I doing? They have like a barrage, or a tackle of their own, or a knockout maneuver. They'll probably kill the archaic. Ooh, 4-color. I hope they're just on full 5-color converge. Nice. Paradox Surveyor. They milled 2 removal spells, which is great for us. I mean, what else could they be wanting here? Tester? Really? That surprises me. This would not be an intelligent attack, in my opinion. Yeah. So now I have the choice. I could either tackle that. I could... What happens if I copy this? I don't want it to get messed up. It says put 6 1/1 counters on it. Right? Hang on. I gotta Google again. I think you can. I'm gonna do that. If they have a bounce spell, that would suck. But if we could get like even one creature off this, that would be amazing. I could die happy and never play another game of Arena in my life. But what are the chances they have no removal in their hand? Ooh. So they're just gonna start smashing us with that Death Toucher. At some point I'm gonna have to give something up to it. I mean, if I cast this Mana Worm... Oh no, because it's just gonna keep getting counters and keep getting counters. So I may actually trade off this Archaic into it next turn. If they move a counter onto it, which they do, should I kill it this turn? I still think no, because these are going to be gigantic. Okay, they didn't do that, so... Ooh, we could also run behind it. A 5/6. Let's see. I think I'm gonna move both onto... Oh, I can't do that. I think I'm gonna move one onto the Archaic so that in case the Scavenger gets extra counters, I can kill it with the Archaic, because at this point I can't just keep letting it hit me. Orisa. This is a very cool deck with the additive evolution and then the tester. They can just manipulate all the counters on everything that they have. I would rather keep the lecturer than anything else, I think. That would be the one thing I would be really sad if they got rid of, because then I'd be limited back down to 4 mana. Okay, fine with that. Okay, so now we have 4 green mana. I want to cast this worm. But I have 4 lands and 4 green mana. So I think I'm going to kill that tester with this worm. Oops. I thought I had mana left. Did I not? Okay, I guess I didn't. I guess after my main phase, I lost the extra mana from the lecture, which is a bit sad. I can banish the token. They have to have something good over there. 6 cards in their hand, 7 mana. Another Surveyor. Wow, did they have 3? That's awesome. They had a lot of uncommons. That's unfortunate. If they have a way to kill my worm with the token, that will be sad. I can still banish it next turn though. Finally, another blue source. Let's see. I can tap their Death Toucher with the mascot. I can run behind something and get the counter from the tester. Lots of choices. I think it's rough because I think I need to develop my board. But I can't play this without tapping the lecturer anyway. I'm sure there was a better line there. If somebody in the comments could let me know what it was, because I felt paralyzed with indecision. Perhaps they are also paralyzed with indecision. grind into matter. Another biomancer. We're down to 11 cards in their library. They tried to attack me with a bunch of things. They could get blown out, potentially. Biomancer can pump to 5 with the newt. Okay, they don't do anything, so I'm going to banish their token. Oh, it really sucks to have to do this. Okay. This feels good. First, I will move counter. Onto the worm again. I will attack with the worm. Ooh. This is promising. Okay. Now, I have to cast one of these things anyway, so I might as well cast the thing that's going to tap something. I'm going to tap their Biomancer so they can't pump it. We might just be dead anyway, though. Because they can pump this one. That's a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus the counter is 14 damage. I can only block 2 things. So I can block the 5. Say that I give this, so 3 or 4, because then I can't block it well. 2, 4, 5. May not be dead. That's very promising. Ooh. Please don't have an Essence Scatter. I will cry. I think I'd rather hold up a 6/7. 6/7. They have a barrage for their newt, it looks like. Otherwise, why else are they highlighting it? Okay. Now we have a mind into matter, or Berta, or the worm. I think we mind into matter for 3. Yeah. I only make like a 2/2 without tapping my lecturer, which I don't want to do. All right, we're just chilling. I can just chump that instead of like worrying about trying to kill it now. Although we are going to get 2 of them coming at us, which is not good. What do we want to draw? I don't think I even have any removal left. Proctor's Gaze would be pretty good. Get rid of their, bounce their Biomancers. Embrace the Paradox is good. I want to move all 3 counters over onto Berta, because then I'll just get the mana back. Okay, so now I can make a big fractally dude, which I think is what I want to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or I can make 5 and then recast the Berta. I think that's what I'm going to do. Oops. Oh, I'm dumb. I looked at the counter and not the power. Or I could get the worm out. They might have an essence scatter. Or it could just be holding up for their Fields of Strife scry spell. Board stall is still stalling. The reason I played the worm instead of the Berta is because I don't mind throwing the worm in front of something if they just try to do like an all-out attack, whereas I really wouldn't want my Berta to die if at all possible. Oh, Sundering Archaic is rough. Please don't get rid of the lecture. That's the one thing I don't want to lose. Okay, I don't actually care that much about the tester, to be honest. The lecturer is really the workhorse of this deck right now, or this board state right now, because it's giving me so much more mana. Just have to survive 6 more turns. Okay. Yep, I had a feeling they had that card, which is why I didn't play Berta out last turn. And now I'll just hold up Embrace the Paradox. They have 6 cards left. How many lands do they have out? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 lands. 15, 16, 17. So they've probably played out all their lands. This Archaic can now put things on the bottom of their library so that they're not going to mill out. We can still win with our flyers if we last long enough. They can put a billion more cards at the bottom of their library now with that Archaic. I don't think we have a way to kill it. Let me see. Trudge, nope. Nope, I don't have a way to kill it, which is unfortunate. So I don't think we can win this game. How many cards do we have? 18 left, though? I mean, we can make this a really long game. I think I'm going to have to mute my microphone, though, because I'm expecting a call any minute. I will keep playing, though, as long as we're still hanging on. Okay. Okay, now we're dead. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I should have tapped the lecturer and put more than that on there. What do I have left? Nothing. Yeah. There's just no way I'm gonna win this game. Alright, GG's. I'm gonna pause this and I will come back to it after my phone call is over. You won't know any different, but I will be back later. Okay, I'm back. Now, I have no idea where we are. I forgot. 4 and 2. Okay. 4 and 2. Hopefully we can get at least one more win with this deck. I think it's a really good deck. And honestly, I missed a little bit of removal that turn. Like I missed, I wish I had had a couple more removal spells for some of their creatures, because once they started getting counters on them, it was really hard to win. And especially that archaic, because then they could have just milled out. But for the majority of our other games, I have not needed it, so I'm not going to try to rebuild the deck at this stage. Hopefully they don't have a barrage to just immediately kill my tester. Ramping into something, perhaps. Ooh, Cauldron of Essence. It's a nice one. Should I cast this now? I guess I could just put a land into hand with this, but gosh, I only draw one card. That sucks. I think I'll just wait and Proctor's Gaze next turn on something. Let's see. 3-mana artifact. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. For 1 black and green, sack a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Let's go get another green source. Now I think we can, does that sloth have reach? It does have reach, that's annoying. We could just run behind it again, really just piss them off. They had 1 black mana up last time, now they have black and green. So, I think next turn, I will apply geometry on the tester. I guess I could geometry on the mascot. Get a 12/12 trample is pretty sickening. Okay. Or I could just slumbering trudge. I did that so that in case I cast Applied Geometry, I can get another counter, increment counter. Same with Run Behind. Interesting. Let's see. Wish I had one more mana, then I could do both. If they kill this in response, I will be very sad. No, don't do it. No. I think they just want the little creatures back, and then they can sack one and bring it right back. I'm gonna let them hit me with the sloth if they attack in again. Then I can just run behind the newt next turn. Okay. Ooh, we have a cuboid colony. A mascot. I think I'm gonna... Let's see. Alright, so my plan is to cast the colony and then run behind the sloth when it attacks. My cat is up on my desk again. Loki, move, please. That was unfortunate. Alright, so we have 7 mana, so I can't do both of these things. Then I can barrage, hopefully, on... I can barrage the sloth. Oh, but then they'll just bring it right back. And it doesn't even come in tapped, which is BS. Gosh, do I have anything that exiles? No. I have one more Proctor's Gaze and another Fractal Mascot, so... Guess I should have done the tackle first. Okay, well that's fine. Is it worth this to put them to 3? I don't think so. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so they have no instant speed stuff. They can sack something, but they don't have anything in their grave to bring it back. This is a sorcery. Okay. That was probably not what I should have done. I don't know. Okay, so now they have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 toughness on board. No. Okay. Well, I wasn't going to win that game, which is why I did that. That was fun. I think this deck performed really well. Maybe me taking a break messed up the flow of how we were doing, but 4 wins, 3 losses. I think this was a pretty good one. Stick around. I'll have some more Premier Draft content coming up this week in preparation for the play-in qualifier play-in on Friday. I'll be doing at least one best of 3 sealed, and we'll see how it goes. So thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you later. Bye bye.